Think back to a single toy from your childhood. Not just any toy. The one you actually talked to. The one you apologized to if you dropped it. The one you couldn't fall asleep without, even after you were far too old to need it. Now ask yourself something you probably haven't thought about in years. What if it could hear you? What if, this entire time, it actually knew? What if your toys were secretly alive? Here's a strange place to start. You were built to believe this, at least a little. Psychologists have a real name for that one object kids bond with more than any other. It's called a transitional object, a term coined by pediatrician and psychoanalyst Donald Winnicott. It's not just sentimental nonsense. Children genuinely process these objects as something between a thing and a person, a bridge between total dependence on a parent and the wider, scarier world outside it. So, the idea that your toy knew you, on some level, wasn't childish delusion. It was your developing brain doing exactly what it was designed to do. But here's the deeper question. Why does the idea of a toy actually moving, actually watching, feel less magical and more unsettling the more realistic it gets? There's a real answer for that, too, and it has a name: the Uncanny Valley. In the 1970s, a robotics researcher named Masahiro Mori charted something unexpected. As an object becomes more human-like, our comfort with it rises, right up until it gets almost perfectly human, and then comfort doesn't just plateau, it crashes into revulsion. A cartoonish doll is cute. A doll that blinks, breathes, and tracks your movement with its eyes is something else entirely. We are, quite literally, wired to detect almost alive as a warning sign, not a delight. So, if your toys were truly alive, the most disturbing version wouldn't be the ones that look human. It would be the ordinary ones. The stuffed rabbit that shouldn't have opinions, having opinions. And people have believed exactly that, about exactly one doll, for over a century. In Key West, Florida, there's a stuffed figure known as Robert the Doll, sitting behind glass in a museum, dressed in the same sailor suit he's worn since the early 1900s. For decades, visitors have sworn he shifts position when no one's looking, that cameras malfunction near him, that bad luck follows anyone who photographs him without asking permission first. The museum has an entire filing cabinet full of letters, from adults, mailed in specifically to apologize to a toy. Whatever you believe about ghosts, that's a real, documented human response, treating an object as if it can hold a grudge. Now push the question further. How would a truly living toy even know when to stop pretending? Developmental psychologist Jean Piaget spent decades studying how infants understand something we take completely for granted: object permanence. The idea that things continue existing even after you can't see them. Babies under about 8 months genuinely don't grasp this. Out of sight isn't just out of mind, it's out of existence. Here's the unsettling twist. If your toys were alive and playing along, they'd essentially need the opposite skill: perfected. Not just knowing you exist when you leave the room, but timing their entire existence around the exact millisecond your attention shifts away. That's not childlike. That's a level of awareness closer to surveillance than companionship. And this is the part that should really keep you up at night. We already built something disturbingly close by accident. In 2017, German regulators formally banned a doll called My Friend Kayla. And didn't just ban it, they classified it as an illegal surveillance device and ordered parents to destroy it. Kayla listened to children through an unsecured Bluetooth connection that outside devices could quietly hijack from a phone. A toy, sold specifically to feel like a real conversational friend, turned out to be one of the least private objects a child could own. The fantasy of a toy that secretly understands everything about you isn't science fiction. It already happened, and it happened by mistake. So maybe the real question was never, what if your toys were alive? Maybe it's this: when the toys on shelves today already listen, watch, and remember, what exactly are we choosing to hand to a child who still can't tell the difference between something that loves them and something that's simply very, very good at pretending to. Because here's the part that makes all of this stop being fun and start being genuinely worth thinking about. A child can't read a privacy policy. They can't consent to being recorded, profiled, or learned from. Every generation before this one only had to worry about a toy remembering them in a story they told themselves. This generation is the first where the toy might actually remember, in a server somewhere, long after the child has grown up and forgotten the toy ever existed. If you want to know what happens when AI companions start remembering everything a child has ever told them, and what happens to that data years later, that might be our next video. Subscribe so you don't miss it.